Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Pasonic Partners, this is Sarah Carlson. I am a registered dietitian and a ServSafe Level 2 preceptor and proctor. And we just want to go over a few items with you about serving safe meals for your students. As we're all navigating this tumultuous time that is changing daily, we want to ensure that we are providing the safest meals we possibly can for our students. The first thing that we want to make sure that we are telling our families as they are picking up food, that they are making sure that the food gets handled correctly once it leaves the school location. So you want to make sure that you tell families that within 2 hours, preferably as soon as possible, from the time that they are receiving that food from your kitchen or dispersal site, that they are placing those items in refrigeration at least 41 degrees or below, and that those items are getting eaten within 5 days of receipt, so long as that they are capped at 41 Fahrenheit or below in that time period. We want to make sure that we're also sharing with them how to properly prepare these items. We want them to wash hands thoroughly with warm soap and water. That's really important with what's going on right now. We want to make sure that they're placing these items on a clean baking sheet or microwave safe plate or container, that then those items are going straight into the oven or microwave, and that again they are being cooked until an internal temperature of 165 is reached. Cooking items safely in the microwave is going to be key, especially as families are taking these items home. So one thing that we want to remember is that the microwave ovens can cook unevenly and leave cold spots. And this is where harmful bacteria can survive. For this reason, it is very important that you follow all safe microwaving tips so that we can prevent foodborne illness. So when you're making these items at home, if you are the parent or student making these meals, you want to make sure that you're stirring or rotating the food midway through that microwaving cooking process so that you're eliminating the cold spots where harmful bacteria could be living, and you also want to ensure proper cooking. So again, that's evenly dispersed with the heat throughout. You never want to partially cook the food and store it for later. You'd want to go ahead and heat those items all the way up to 165 degrees and then eat the items. You should have a food thermometer at home. Again, that's the only way we can properly ensure that items are cooked thoroughly. So again, these reheat items need to go to 165 degrees. Below, you'll see an example of a thermometer that you can purchase very readily at any major box retail store or on Amazon. This exact one is less than $7. So when we look at the containers and wraps that we are using when we're cooking things in the microwave, we want to make sure that they are specifically manufactured to be used in the microwave. Not every product should be placed in the microwave for cooking. We want to make sure that these items are BPA free. Again, this is a chemical that can leach out of a plastic product if it is not specifically made to be used in the microwave. Glass is the best option when heating things into the microwave. Please do not reuse butter, sour cream, cream cheese, or any other type of plastic container when you're trying to reheat food. These can melt and leach chemicals into the foods that you are heating. Never allow your plastic wrap to touch your food during microwaving. Again, we just want to make sure that that doesn't get into the food during the heating process. And never use things like aluminum foil, paper bags, plastic bags, or anything else in the microwave. Make sure whatever is going in the microwave is microwave safe. This is a great little graphic of, is it done yet? You cannot tell just by looking at food. So the fact that pink is no longer visible inside of a burger or chicken is no longer pink, that it's white all the way through, are not proper ways to know that the item is cooked correctly. You want to make sure that you're using that food thermometer and that you are sticking it into the thickest part of the meat and that you are giving it adequate time for the temperature to stabilize. So again, if it's a very thick cut of meat, as you see in the first picture on your left, you want to make sure that it has a 3-minute rest time. And then the other items, you'd want to leave that thermometer in there at least 15 to 20 seconds so that it can register. Again, the most important part is that you are sticking that thermometer into the thickest part of the meat. There's also a little what's called a dimple on the long part of that thermometer, and you'll want to make sure that that is all the way into the food to ensure that you're taking the correct temperature in that thickest part of the food, which will take the longest to come up to temperature. This is another great graphic that you can use in your house as you're making and preparing food. It goes over, not leaving things out for more than 2 hours that are perishable, how to properly serve food, how to keep hot food hot and cold food cold. What is that temperature danger zone? So again, we don't want any food sitting between 42 and 140 degrees. We want to make sure it's either colder than 42 or that it's hotter than 135. Again, really important as we are keeping food at home and making sure that we keep it safe. Again, this is just another pictorial of the temperature danger zone where we don't want to keep food so that we don't leave bacteria growing in the food. So again, there isn't any risk right now, according to the CDC, with the virus being transmitted via food, but we want to ensure that we don't create foodborne illness when we are preparing these foods at home. Time in lieu of temperature is the process that most of our schools are utilizing right now to ensure safe food is being provided to you and your students. So please rest assured that the staff are level 2 food safe certified. There is at least one person with that credentialing on site at all times, and that we are utilizing all of these methods to ensure that the food is safe when it gets handed off to you. So again, we're ensuring on our end that cold food is kept cold, 41 or lower, and hot food is kept hot, 135 or higher. And we are also practicing this like cold foods that they're not exceeding that 6 hours and hot foods that they're not exceeding 4 hours. Most of the schools are doing a really good job to get items out within just a couple of hours from the time that they leave the kitchen and are processed until they are in your hands. And if there is more time than that they are going into refrigeration or being hot held in the meantime. So again, as you're just thinking through making foods at home, these are just some foods that do require some time temp control. So they are time temperature control for safety foods, or TCS. And these are things that we just want to make sure that if we are making them, that we are keeping them cold. And once we've cooked them, that we are keeping them hot at 135 or higher for safety reasons. Again, these are proper hand washing techniques. This is something that we are going through with all of our school staff or any volunteers that are helping prepare the food on site. And this is just an important way for you all to know at home how to properly wash your hands, as this is the most effective way, according to the CDC, to prevent the spread of the virus. So please take a look at this. And make sure that we're doing this in the proper order. Again, the order matters so that you don't recontaminate your hands after you've washed them, and that you are taking enough time to properly scrub your hands and rinse them with water, again, to take off any bacteria or viruses that may be present. And hand sanitizer, I know Purell is very hard to come by these days. It does not replace hand washing. So it is better if you're out and about and you don't have access to warm water and soap. But washing hands should always be the first choice. And the hand sanitizer should just be used if you're out and about and not home, to be able to thoroughly wash your hands with warm soap and water. This is just a little diagram to kind of show you how disease is transmitted. So the 3 P's is people, a pathway that it needs, and the pathogen itself. So again, we're trying to eliminate the pathway that pathogen has to people. So again, that's through proper hand washing. And then we're also, as far as food safety goes, ensuring that the bacteria doesn't come into the food and that we are keeping food safe. This is great resources for more information. The Ohio Department of Health has a whole coronavirus setup page. You can also find food safety tips at foodsafety.gov. This is from the USDA. There's tons of pictorials and activities that you can do at home and things that you can print for more information. And of course, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to your local health department or regulatory authority, and they would be happy to answer any of your questions or concerns.